Hi, everybody. So we got about 2 minutes. I'm actually just going to kind of let my voice warm up because you can hear that I've been sick. And I actually didn't have any voice yesterday or Friday. So this is amazing that I have this much voice. So just going to let the clock run for a little bit. We have like a minute. I have a cough drop in, got some water. I did not do as many patterns as I wanted this week. So this might be a little bit of a shorter episode because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do the, couldn't get out of bed basically. So, but anyway, so welcome to the channel. We might as well start. It's right at 1:59. So I couldn't really do as much as I wanted this week. I spent all day Thursday in bed, except for when I got up to go to the urgent care to find out what the heck I had. And the woman at urgent care said, "Oh, there's something going around." As you can tell. And there's definitely something going around because I also found out that on Friday we had 6 people out where I work. Having 6 bus drivers out means we have to double up. So my boss had sent out a text saying, some of you are going to have to double up today. It was really bad, but, what are you going to do? We were all sick. I'm sure it's from the kids. When we get sick, it's always from the kids. So hello, Olivia, good afternoon. So because I didn't get to do as many patterns, I thought I would show you some stuff that I'd gotten from Goodwill Tuesdays. I haven't really been doing Goodwill Tuesdays, and both of these are, the one thing is from this Tuesday, but this other thing, I think I've had this since before I started making videos again. So I'd gone to Goodwill, and I picked this up, the Good Housekeeping Cookbook. It's from 1963, so it's a year older than me, which is fabulous, right? So it's really vintage, right? It's almost antique. I love vintage cookbooks. I have to tell you, I particularly love the ones from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s because the food photography is so freaking weird. Like we've all seen the Jell-O molds from the 50s, and we've all seen some like crazy 70s stuff, but I love stuff like this. Like here, I made you a salad with a lot of meat in it. I just love that. And if you think that's great, that's a diet food. This is, by the way, the diet chapter. This is called the Cantaloupe Supper, and it's in the diet chapter. So basically it's a cantaloupe cut in half with cottage cheese and a bunch of berries shoved in it. And I guess the thing in the back is it's like saccharin sweetened lemonade or something. But I just thought that was so great. And it's a great cookbook. I took a look at it and the recipes are awesome, actually. And a lot of stuff that we remember, probably from our childhood, but great stuff like, budget meals and things like how to cook for newlyweds. So cooking for 2, cooking for 1. I like it. They always call it career girls menus, But I picked that up and it was like $2.99, $3.99. So I was very happy with that. This Tuesday I went and I got, okay, so I have a little bit of a mason jar addiction. These are going to be hard to see because I need something kind of more than just my hand. Can you see that says Brockway? Okay. This is a very old mason jar. And I need to put something inside the mason jar. Let me think, what do I have here? I have some fabric sitting here. What if I put the fabric in here? Can you see? No, that doesn't do anything. Okay. Anywho, this is a Brockway Clearview mason jar. I would say this is probably from the 50s. This company's been out of business for years. Short story, The Kerr company made mason jars well into like the 70s, I think early 80s, but then they all went out of business. Ball just has the entire market. Oh yeah. The Reader's Digest Complete Guide to Sewing is a fabulous book if you can get your hands on it. Yeah. Olivia's saying she picked up at that Salvation Army. It's amazing. Yeah, I love, and she's saying how much she loves the crazy menu pictures in these vintage cookbooks. It's true. Like nobody cooks like that anymore. You don't go to somebody's house and they're like, so I made you a relish tray with little rosette radishes, and then I peeled the celery back so it looks like some kind of little alien on the plate. Anyway, so here's another jar. This is unnamed, but it just says Mason. And Mason was interchangeably used as a name for canning jars because I believe it was Mason who actually did the original patent on the top, and Ball was the company that did the patent on the glass. But I'm not sure who this is by, but can you see that? It is, that's so hard to see. Let me see if I get really close. 1976, 1776, and it's a Liberty Bell. And I do collect mason jars. I have tons and tons of vintage mason jars. And then this one, notice how it says Ball Mason. That means this is an older Ball jar, even though it has this on the top, on the back, which is all the moderns won't have that. The modern ones do not have this on the bottom. So this is, I'm going to say 50s or 60s on this one, but yeah, so I got some mason jars. So, oh, sorry. So without further ado, let's talk patterns. So let's start with one that I'm going to keep that I didn't think I was going to keep. So I was going through the sewing patterns and I pulled this one out thinking that it was uncut, and it wasn't. Mrs. Landers, as we've discussed before, took very good care of her patterns. So she cut this. She cut it to the largest size, which is, I think this one was 22. Yeah, which is my size. I think I'm actually a 20. I have to look at them. Some of the ones from the 90s, I'm a 20, and some I'm a 22. If you sew frequently, you know what I'm talking about. There's such an issue with the sizing when you really look. And then when you look at the finished size, it's like a totally different size than what you are. So it's one of the things that makes sewing difficult for some people. You know, you kind of have to get used to it. But I thought it's a cut pattern. It's in good shape, but it really wasn't worth much. And I thought, what a great little pattern to add to my collection. Oh, by the way, it includes the t-shirt. It's just, you know, some little wrap skirts for summer. Works for me. All right, then, sorry, this one is in plastic, but it's a whole, I can take this one out. It's a whole issue. So I found this pattern and again, thought it was uncut until I got closer to it and realized it was a cut pattern. And what a cut pattern it was. See these leaves here on these two dresses? They're individual pattern pieces and they have to be sewn into the main bodice piece. So of course, because it was cut, I had to count them all. All I know is I better get top dollar for this pattern. Actually, I don't think it was worth that much. I think it was worth like $5. After all that, it was worth like $5. But I was like, how many pieces does this? And it had like 24 pieces. I was like, really? All right, these are gonna have to stay in the plastic. I know you guys hate it, but the envelopes are kind of fragile. These were cut, but they're complete. And again, Mrs. Landers took really good care of her patterns. So even though they were cut, they're in such amazing shape, so they can be resold. Here's some of the line drawings. And I like that she has larger sizes. Like this is an 18, which is a 36 bust, which doesn't seem larger. But when you start looking at vintage patterns and everything is just super tiny, it's nice to be able to at least start with a 36 if you're going to scale up. And then there was this. Oh, they're pretty. And I love the little shoes. I'd love a pair of shoes like that. Again, cut, but in beautiful shape. She took really nice care of her patterns. I very much appreciate that about Mrs. Landers. All right, so we have one off. We have this weird one-off Vogue pattern. Vogue Sport. Now, don't remember this line at all, but obviously existed because it's a unisex jacket for men and women. And I guess these are the more feminine, I don't know, versions of it. So just one Vogue. It's uncut. I think most of these are up online. There may be a couple that I didn't get to, but I'm not so sure about that. God, I love this pattern. Look at it. It's great. I thought it was a jumpsuit. I thought it was like, hidden pants, but it's not. It's just a dress, but it looks fun, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a great dress to wear in the summer? And then this, I don't understand. First of all right, guys, set your Wayback Machines. Look, they're stirrup pants. Oh, so we know this is 90s, right? Because it's a giant top with stirrup pants and a giant coat. And for some unknown reason, we have suede in here. I guess her legs rub together. I don't know. Some kind of weird Joffer thing going on. Oh, and speaking of summer patterns, I should have done this one after the other one. How cute is that? Look at the little dress. And then it's got the jumpsuit or the romper and then an over jacket. And it's all done with this tie thing, spaghetti tie thing. That's the line drawings. And more dresses. This is such a great 90s sheath dress. Very, very basic, but, and I think this was, no, this wasn't a serger. I kind of remember these though. They were called like cocoon jackets, and they kind of cocooned, right? I think they were the precursor to what we call the, like a barn jacket now. But, those shirt jackets are back in style. These long, is it a jacket? Is it a shirt kind of thing? They're back in style. There's the line drawings for that one. So yeah, everything old is new again, right? This is definitely a serger pattern. But are they stirrup pants? No, these are not stirrup pants. These are just a pull-on pant, not stirrups. I have to go on record. I hated stirrup pants. They made my legs look like a tree trunk. Like both legs looked like tree trunks, right? And in those days, I was slim and I had nice legs. I didn't need anybody to make them look like a tree trunk. And so here's a uniform for every Catholic school, right? There's the uniform. Oh, and I had one of these this week. The Show Me patterns from McCall's. And if you're not familiar with this, I will show you why they were called Show Me patterns. Aside from the fact that they used white tissue, which I'm not exactly in love with that, because look what happens to white tissue over time. Yeah, gets discoloration. The Show Me patterns had, instead of the regular directions, they were like a little book, right? And here comes my dog who ignored me all day, except when I started to talk on my computer. He's right over here. I don't know if you can see his little tail. So the Show Me patterns was more like a step-by-step booklet than the actual fold-out directions of the other patterns. They stopped doing them. I guess it never really took off, but who knows? I get it. It seemed like a good idea. To me, anyway. This is so cute. It's just a little sundress, but it also, in a way, is like the kind of thing that my aunt used to wear. When she got older, she was always in something like this. So it kind of reminded me of her. It's bad, right? All right, so we have more vests. More 90s vests, because in the 90s we loved to vest. Oh, and there's no line drawings on the back of this. But it is like a make your own, design your own kind of thing. You can do long, you can do short, whichever you'd like. Fashion basics. So we have more of these jumper, jumpsuit, culotte kind of things. There's the line drawings on that one. Jumpsuit, 90s jumpsuit. And this next dress, I kind of remember as being the quintessential dress of the 90s. Does everybody else remember this dress? Kind of a wrap, but not really. And, yeah. I think everybody had one of these. I'm pretty sure I had this one at one point in time. And then there was this. I didn't have one of these, but it's very Melrose Place, right? What was her name on Melrose Place? Amanda. Can you see Amanda wearing this? You see Amanda? Yeah, bossing people around. Heather Locklear's character. And then Nonstop Wardrobe. I think this might have been a serger pattern, but I can't remember. And this one doesn't have line drawings either. I don't know. They cheaped out on us, McCalls. They stopped doing line drawings on some of their patterns. And these, I actually have 2 of these. But again, it's the Nonstop Wardrobe. So it's all the pieces. And again, no line drawings. So this one is dress, skirt, jacket, top, trousers, or shorts, which is actually really nice when you think about it. I used to really like what I call wardrobe patterns, because if you when you bought it and you just made the trousers or the skirt or whatever, you always had the pattern to go back to if you decided you want to make the blouse or whatever, right? I am going to upload this one as the thumbnail when I get done this video. It wouldn't let me do it. It said it was too big, so I have to readjust it. But this is just a really basic McCall shirt pattern. But look at the cool artwork. How groovy is that artwork? And look at those shoulder pads. I mean, we know it's an 80s pattern just based on the shoulder pads, but look how cool the artwork is. Like, look at her. It's like really cool. So I'm going to upload that one so you guys can get a better image of it as the thumbnail. Dress alternative from McCall's. So it's actually a pattern for a dress. So I don't really know why it was a dress alternative, but because there's a dress pattern right here. But wait, let me see if I can do it. Whatever McCall's. And this kind of, see, some of this stuff was really ubiquitous in the 90s. Like you look at it now and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. This is one of them. I remember this, like a lot of people having this dress. Yeah, not my style. Another dress pattern. This is 80s. Definitely has a more 80s look to it. And more Nonstop Wardrobe. This is from the 90s. And another Nonstop Wardrobe pattern, also from the 90s. And no, see, look, McCall's really cheap. Oh, wait, this one they did have, they had line drawings on this one. Okay. But they really cheaped out on us. And this one had line drawings. It's a drop waist. On the drop waist 80s dress. But boy, McCall's really cheaped out on us with the line drawings, right? So I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. I did pull out the patterns from another bag. I think I told you guys last week that I was down to 3 bags. I was wrong. I was down to 4 bags. I'm now officially down to 3 bags. I'm airing them out on the porch right now, a lot of them. Next week, it's going to be a mishmash, but it's going to be a lot of 70s vintage. I found kind of the like mother lode of 70s vintage, and it's some of it's really awesomely bad, and some of it's totally cool. So we're going to get a really good cross mix of those two. I also found more like rodeo, Western themed kind of patterns. In fact, one's right here. Let me see if I can reach it. See, okay, so this is like a quick sew square dancing outfit. Does not include the men's shirt, but I have the pattern for this men's shirt. And yeah, see, look, I mean, look at that, right? That's totally crazy. And I'm seriously thinking about setting up a different section in my Etsy shop that just says Western, because I'm finding so many Western patterns like this. I have like a whole box over here of Western patterns. And every time I go through the bags, I find more Western patterns, men's and women's, like stuff like that, like square dancing dresses and like giant skirts and like Western vests and shirts that you can do Western yoke style shirts. So I may be doing another section on my Etsy page specifically for Western wear, because I'm going to have so much of it. And that, unfortunately, is probably going to be it for me today. I know we're only at 20 minutes, but my throat's already sore. I'm already struggling a little bit with this. So I may have to say adieu for today. But thank you for joining me. So please like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. Please comment. I love to see people's comments if any of these were. Thank you. I appreciate that, Olivia. I am feeling better. They gave me a lot of drugs, when I went to urgent care, but I got to go back to work tomorrow. And all of this kind of sucks when you're also driving, small children in a giant diesel vehicle. But thank you for thank you for joining me. Like I said, next week is going to be a real hodgepodge of different stuff. We're not going to be having just one style like we had mostly 90s today. And but some interesting patterns. And yeah, so until next time, please like, subscribe, leave me some comments. I'd love to read them. I am going to put this one up so you guys can see the detail because it's too crazy. It's really an amazing illustration. And until next time, I hope that you're all having a good day. I hope it's nice where you are. It's pretty nice where I am in South Jersey. And please have a great week and stay well. Bye.